It's the radio guy, Mike Prince. Welcome to Football Friday right here at the Open Mic Broadcast Network. We come to you each and every day, but you know, Football Fridays is something special. Our social media handles, of course, on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter are at The Mike Prince Show. The YouTube channel is Open Mic Broadcast Network. Our 24-hour dial-in message line is 713-570-6736. Thanking our underwriters and sponsors for today's episode. Attorney Lee Van Richardson of Hempstead, Texas. Texas Farm Bureau Insurance of Waller, Texas. Prairie View Athletic Club. Temple of Refuge Ministries. And Diva Skin Conditioner at divafeet.com. Without any further delay, we're going to jump right into today's episode. Big college settings in the world of HBCU football, MEAC and SWAC. In fact, on the MEAC side of things, national recognition has been featured up between Howard and FAMU this weekend. Two teams definitely going in the opposite direction. FAMU having an unbelievable year, but due to some infractions will not be eligible for postseason play. So it is all or nothing for FAMU during the regular season. And Howard University, definitely a difference between 1 year and the impact that has been there. But nonetheless, they've been featured throughout national news sources. Their game will be featured this Saturday at 3 p.m. Other matchups in the world of the MEAC, 12 Central kickoff time, will feature North Carolina Central and North Carolina A&T doing battle. Another 12 p.m. Central kickoff time will feature Morgan State hosting that team again, Virginia Lynchburg. Norfolk State will be at Delaware State. South Carolina State will be at North Carolina Central. That, too, will be a 1 p.m. kickoff. I normally don't do this, but today we're going to give our projected winners of each conference, starting, of course, with the MEAC since we are here. And I guess I'll go with the 12 o'clock. I'll go in the order of the times kickoff. North Carolina A&T and Bethune-Cookman. A 12 o'clock kickoff. A game that is literally going to have a huge impact on the final standings for the Mid-Eastern Athletic Conference. Of course, FAMU sits on top, but because of the infractions that we spoke of earlier, they will not be eligible for postseason play, which leaves behind North Carolina A&T, South Carolina State, and Bethune-Cookman, who are all at 4-2 in conference play. Without saying, Bethune-Cookman has a game remaining with FAMU, which is going to be of great magnitude, providing that they could win against North Carolina A&T this weekend. And on the flip side of that coin, North Carolina A&T can assure themselves to be representatives of the MEAC with a win over Bethune-Cookman. It's one of those games where you go like, what do we have and how do we determine who's going to do what and what's going to be next? And don't forget that South Carolina State will be taking on North Carolina Central, with South Carolina State and Coach Buddy Pugh trying to make sure they stay relevant. But let me first attack the game number one. Bethune-Cookman and North Carolina A&T. Although North Carolina A&T has shown that they are beatable, They are at home. And with that being said, I am going to say North Carolina A&T wins in a close one. I'm thinking something along the lines of 21-18. And that's my final answer. Morgan State and Lynchburg. Next. Norfolk State and Delaware State. Both of these teams coming off some pretty significant wins. Delaware State being at home. Delaware State still trying to figure some things out. Norfolk State's at 3-3. Delaware State is at 1-6. I think Norfolk State should be able to hold them off and get the victory to improve to 4-3. That's my final answer on that end. South Carolina State and North Carolina Central. I am going to roll with the Bulldogs of South Carolina State and Coach Buddy Pugh. They should win rather convincingly, in my opinion, over North Carolina Central. Then there's Howard and FAMU. We spoke with Coach Simmons before the season kicked off, knowing what they were walking into as far as the status and situation was concerned. And they wanted to go out with a bang, although they could not play in any postseason action. They wanted to be recognized beyond a shadow of a doubt that FAMU would be in the upper echelon as far as the MEAC, and not only just MEAC, but HBCU football. And with that being said, there's no need for me to go and kick against the grain right now, and I will say FAMU wins this game over a rather dismal Howard University. So I believe that FAMU continues to stay undefeated in the MEAC football season. Now we will gander over to the Southwestern Athletic Conference. Alabama State will be stepping outside of its conference opponents to take on ACC's Florida State. Although Florida State still in somewhat of a dismal season, you have to think that Florida State would win that game. Although it would be nice to see Alabama State pull that upset off. But Florida State, winner over that one. Prairie View, Holston, Edward Waters. No-brainer. Alabama A&M and Alcorn State. Alcorn State at home, coming off of the defeat against Grambling, trying to redeem themselves and reassure their dominance in the East. Meanwhile, Alabama A&M, under Coach Connell Maynor, trying to let people know that the return of the Bulldog is real. And with that being said, Alabama A&M comes in at 3-2. Of course, this win would drop them or catapult them to 4-2 and systematically put them in the number one spot. Because in head-to-head competition, Alabama State losing in the Magic City Classic to A&M would then fall to the third slot because Alcorn would fall to number 2. Alabama A&M would be in the number 1 slot. But I am going on record to say the confusion will be null and void because Alcorn, I believe, rebounds and win this game to improve their record to 5-1 in conference play, which leads us to a couple of games of great magnitude. Jackson State hosting Southern University. Jackson State has a turnaround season, and boy, oh boy, have they turned it around. Jackson State, to be honest, were dead men walking. And anyone that keeps up with HBCU sports know that I'm not exaggerating. But they have been on a roll, but I think it is going to be now time for the reality to come back in, and they will drop to 3-3 in conference play because Southern will find a way to win this game. It's going to be a very well contested game, but I believe Southern will find a way to improve to 5-1 in conference play, heading to the Big Easy for their matchup against Grambling State. So I got Southern winning in a game that is going to be highly competitive. In fact, I'm thinking something along the lines of a 4-point margin of victory, 28-24 in favor of Southern. Which leads us to Grambling on the road at Mississippi Valley. On paper, this looks like an absolute slam dunk no-brainer. Grambling, by far, one of the hottest teams, if not the hottest team, in the Southwestern Athletic Conference. Grambling on a 5-game win streak. Huge win over Alcorn last week, 19-16. A very impressive win over Texas Southern, 55-20. Beat Arkansas Pine Bluff, 39-33. Victorious over Alabama A&M, 23-10. And handled Jackson State by the score of 44-21 in those 5 wins. They will be at Valley, who comes in with an overall record of 2-7. Valley, coming off their loss against Alabama State by the score of 27-0. Coach Dancy has 2 games remaining, of course at home against Grambling, then finishing up against Alabama A&M. There's been a lot of talk of the improvement of Valley, but yet to see it translate into wins. And although Grambling is going to be a heavy favorite, and they won the last time they met with Valley by the score of 24-19. Valley is at home, but I don't think it's going to be enough to stop the G train that's rolling. It's going to be a tough battle and closer than some would imagine. But Grambling will find a way to win on the road to increase the intensity of the Bayou Classic scheduled for November 30th. So Grambling victorious, I'm going to say 24-20 over Mississippi Valley. Those are our projections for this coming weekend's matchups in the world of HBCU football. On the NFL note, you guys that follow me and know that I am a huge Pittsburgh Steelers fan. They lost convincingly on last night by the score of 21-7 to the Cleveland Browns. No excuses about who's not in, who's not playing. we lost. But it was overshadowed by the last 5 seconds of that contest, which saw Myles Garrett simply lose control. And it dampers what was a dominant performance by the Cleveland Browns on last night. We all know that football is a very physical and dangerous sport. We know that there have been precautions on top of precautions to help minimize injuries. But when a grown man takes an object as such as a football helmet to strike another grown man, that's criminal. It goes beyond the spirit of competition. And although no one was seriously hurt behind it, I believe that the NFL is going to come down with a very harsh message to extend to those who come behind Myles Garrett that this is totally unacceptable. We'll see how it unfolds. We'd love to hear your comments, thoughts of the selections we made as far as the wins this weekend or the incident that took place between Myles Garrett and Mason Rudolph. 713-570-6736, or you can send me a direct message on Twitter at The Mike Prince Show. I am going to exit stage left. Thank you guys so much for your support. Remember, the Carlos Brown Show, normally 10 a.m. to 12 noon Central Standard Time, but because it's going to be a special edition of the Carlos Brown Show on Saturday morning, starting at 9 a.m. till 11 a.m. this Saturday only, as he'll be on site in Jackson, Mississippi. Also, reminding you guys about Miss Sonja Stamps on She Said Sports, featured here at the Open Mic Broadcast Network. You can check her out in her latest episode with Charles Bishop. Don't forget to catch us live on Sunday nights, 9 p.m. Central Standard Time for the Sports Report. I've got the exit stage left for right now. I am the radio guy, Dr. Mike Prince. You guys be blessed, and we'll see you on the other side.